Good morning, gamers. Welcome into the Gamers Roast podcast. I'm your host, Joshua J. Alongside me, Wesley Lance.
Good morning, everybody.
Today is February 10th. We are chugging along through this year.
Happy Valentine's Day
already.
Because it'll be Valentine's Day between this and the next episode.
4 more days.
I should have made it all pink and rosy. We're not talking about anything Valentine's Day related.
We're really not. Anyway, except for the love we have of coffee and video games.
One of the stories we has involves the color red, but we'll wait for that. Oh yeah, I don't know how I feel about this coffee.
I'm terrified. So, story time. Last week, we were like, oh, we're going to have a great coffee. We're excited. We can't tell you what it is. Yada, 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 yada. This is not that coffee.
Yeah, we ordered it, and it still hasn't come in yet.
I ordered it over a week ago, and they were like, no.
So instead of a coffee that we were really excited about, we decided to just, I guess, scrape the bottom of the barrel here. Are we just going to get into it?
I was hoping it would show up in time for the podcast, so I kept delaying trying to find a backup coffee.
Yeah.
And so I just had to go to the gas station, or the Dollar General, technically, which the lady there said it's her favorite. So that doesn't say much.
Really this looks like it's gonna make my stomach upset. It's an International Delight Oreo. It says coffee and milk beverage, so that also.
Now I will say Carly loves them. She said it reminds her of her childhood, and so I'm wondering if it's like one of those things like that, you know, you
the
used
nostalgia
to
goggles.
Yeah, it's not necessarily it's good. It reminds you of good things.
It's like cheese balls. Like, I honestly do not like cheese balls.
I love cheese balls.
But when I eat them, I just can't stop eating them, and I don't know why.
They're like Cheetos, but ball form.
Yeah, I don't like regular Cheetos. I like Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and I like extra crunchy Cheetos. But like the regular Cheetos,
nice puffs.
Oh, puff Cheetos are disgusting. I can't do puff Cheetos.
You know what tastes like puff Cheetos?
It feels like I'm eating slightly crunchy cheese flavored cotton candy.
Packing peanuts.
Yeah, exactly.
You put a little cheese batter on packing peanuts, which are edible, by the way. I think, don't take my word for it.
They're
don't go out and eat
styrofoam.
But you can eat them.
It's plastic.
I've eaten one.
Honestly, probably Cheetos Puffs are probably a decent percent plastic too. And sawdust. Sawdust is edible. Food Theory did a video about it, how you could bake your Christmas tree into your Christmas cookies. And they like worked sawdust into the batter, and Matt fed it to his wife Steph without telling her that it had sawdust in it to see if she could notice. And she didn't notice up until a point of it was like 50% sawdust into the batter. Like he got decently far without her being able to notice that there was sawdust in the cookies.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, she felt incredibly betrayed because why wouldn't you?
She'll never eat anything he makes again.
I also don't like the way that this coffee advertises itself. It's just like we dunked Oreo cookies in your iced coffee, and all I can imagine is this dude in a suit with a sleeve of Oreos. I'm just sitting in Starbucks enjoying a nice coffee. He just goes, well, bam! And like, Oreo coffee, and leaves.
You're
and I'm
welcome.
Like, I just spent $5 on this, and now you've ruined it.
I've made it worth $6.
So I feel like we've been trashing on this coffee. We should probably just give it a shot.
Yeah, we haven't tasted it yet. So
yeah, we're just trashing
like,
on it because it doesn't sound great. Oof, man. I don't know. It tastes like Cookie Crisp. Dude, this tastes like Cookie Crisp cereal. Okay, now that I've framed it in that way, it's better. Tell me that does not taste like Cookie Crisp.
Someone ate all my Cookie Crisp and left me with this sloppy milk.
That's what it tastes like. It tastes like the milk you get after Cookie Crisp.
There's slime, spit-filled milk from Cookie Crisp.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
Would you use this as milk for your Cookie Crisp?
Oh, yeah, if I wanted diabetes.
Diabetes.
I mean, I'm still drinking it. I'm having a cheese puff moment, Josh. I don't like it, but I'm continuing to drink it.
Remind you of... Yeah, Cookie Crisp.
Okay.
Cookie Crisp.
It's really weird because the initial flavor isn't bad, but then when you like breathe out, you get like this like cookie flavor.
But it's not like an actual Oreo cookie flavor. It's
it's like generic. It's like the generic Aldi brand brown sandwich cookies.
Or the dog biscuit version. They have a dog biscuit.
Have you ever had dog biscuits?
Yeah, Daniel was like, "Hey, Josh, here's a cookie." I ate it. I was like, "That's not horrible." And he goes, "It's dog biscuit." And I'm like, "It's a what?" And he fed it to his dog, and sure enough, on the package, they're dog treats.
It makes you wonder what we're feeding our pets.
Makes you wonder what we're feeding ourselves.
Actually, that's yeah.
It tasted just like the generic cookie. They just rebranded and said 4 dogs, 4 humans. What's the difference? There isn't. So,
I mean, I'm sure there's some differences, but you know what? This is going to sound bad. I think I preferred the Java Monster.
I agree.
I really do.
100% agree. This tastes like if you woke up at a 1-star motel. Because there's a difference between motels and hotels.
Yeah, motor.
Right.
Yeah, motor hotel.
So
motel.
You woke up at a motel, 1-star motel. They have their continental breakfast, which consists of this coffee.
And a cold Danish.
They don't even got cold Danishes. It's a week-old bagel that they brought from the back that Margaret went and found.
Thank you, Margaret.
Margaret.
Anyway. Yeah, it's way too sweet. It's really sticky. I don't like it.
Nah.
I do not like it. I'm gonna give that one a 1.5, I think.
And it says best served chilled, shake gently, refrigerate after. I did all of those things. And it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1.5. It is not as bad as that expired King's Brew we had, because at least,
100%
it's palatable. But
I
don't
could
know.
drink that. If someone said drink the rest of this, I'd be like, okay, for whatever. Sure, I'll do it.
The Java Monster had more of a coffee flavor. This just, I don't know. I mean, it really does taste like a cheap iced coffee with Oreos crunched up in it.
Yep.
So, it's
bad.
It's not great. Sorry, Carly. She's gonna kill us. Does she listen?
No.
Oh, well, never mind. We can say whatever we want then.
I will say, though, I'm excited for next week when we actually have the coffee.
Yes.
Depending on how next week kind of goes. There's a lot of stuff in the works. We'll get into that. But for now, let's hop into the roast of the week.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that one of our stories involved the color red, and this is the one. GameRant.com. Weird Animal Crossing New Horizons bug is turning water red. An Animal Crossing New Horizons player shares an in-game bug that turns the normally blue water of their island into a horrific red color. And I'm probably gonna edit the photo into this part of the podcast because it has to be seen to be believed. For a game that's almost 2 years old, Animal Crossing New Horizons still has a pretty active player base. This can be attributed to Nintendo's almost monthly updates immediately after its launch, whether it is to offer new content to the community or fix known issues such as the infamous Animal Crossing New Horizons item duplication glitches. Though the social sim title already works pretty well and only had some minor issues after its release, there are still bugs that players often find hilarious. Recently, a gamer shared how an in-game bug turned their island's waters into a bright red instead of their normal blue color. Though Animal Crossing New Horizons seemed to experience a decline in its player base, this is going into why people are still playing it. No, I'm going to skip ahead to the actual glitch. On Reddit, user Clintwood TP84 posted a single photo that showed how the river on their Animal Crossing New Horizons island flowed with red water instead of blue. The Redditor did not offer any explanation about what was going on in their photo caption. However, they did say that the phenomenon was, quote, worrying, unquote. Given that there was only one photo in the post, it does not show if the bug affects only the waters that run in the rivers or if it also affects the ocean that surrounds the island as well. And I saw this and I was like, in the middle of going on year 2 of a global pandemic, the last thing we needed was a biblical plague in the game that Nintendo released specifically to let us escape from the real world. And people were even commenting, they're like, watch out for locusts and frogs. And I'm like,
it's like, yeah.
What did you do? What did you do to deserve this? It's just, I don't know why it's so funny to me. I think it's because Animal Crossing is such a chilled out game. It is just the definition of casual gaming. And then to wake up and then see, to log in one day and see that all of the water on your island has turned this blood red color, you'd be like, well, guess I gotta throw the Switch out now because it's cursed. I don't really know who I'm roasting. I guess I'm roasting Nintendo because your one job was to help people relax. And you've done a great job of that. But then this probably scarred some children.
Right. I mean, they could play off of this. They could start making it a horror game, you know what I mean? And have turn the map into a Ouija board, and then all of a sudden now you have red water, Ouija board, dark clouds, dark skies, rated M for mature.
An Animal Crossing game rated M for mature. Oh gosh. I don't know. I don't want to see that.
Some horrifying elements, strong language.
On the other hand, maybe this is just a tease that the Kool-Aid Man is getting added as DLC.
That'd be kind of
He just
cool.
burst through your house. Oh, yeah. And then all of the water is just Kool-Aid.
Oh, gosh. I
don't know that he says, oh, yeah, anymore. I think they changed his voice.
Like, in the way he says it, too, is just kind of, like, unnerving. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is going to be the second theory video I referenced today. It's also food theory. No. Yeah, it's food theory. He talks about how the Kool-Aid Man could actually become the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most powerful villain. Because Marvel released an actual line of comics starring the Kool-Aid Man. Therefore, he is in the Marvel universe. Therefore, he could technically show up in the MCU. And then Matt Pat went through all of his powers and how he could actually be like really dangerous because he's been evolving since the 1970s.
They totally missed the opportunity to have him bust through one of the portals. Like
in Endgame?
Yeah, but like one of the, like in the very back, super small, but he just busts in there or whatever, you know.
That would have been really funny.
I mean, technically it was possible. That would have been cool. See,
So-
I mean, they missed opportunities. Anyway.
So it's not really a roast, but my last two roasts have been so angry. I needed something that was a little less,
Right.
a little
It was
less
more
aggressive.
funny.
This one is just hilarious to me. A biblical plague in Animal Crossing, the one game that we were using to try to escape from the reality.
Now, when you hop in, can you hop in water in Animal Crossing? I've never
You
played.
can not in the rivers. You can in the ocean, and so the
Okay.
photo doesn't show if the oceans are red.
Because if the oceans are red and you hopped in, now do you have water effects like splashes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when your character gets out, do they still look somewhat wet?
No.
Oh, because I was gonna say if you hopped in and came out, would you look like you just have blood
Dripping down?
Because that would be terrifying. That
Well,
would then become
That is funny though,
Horrifying.
because there is this theory that the Animal Crossing villager is secretly a sociopath because one of his attacks in Smash is to grow a tree and then chop it down with an axe. But if you miss the tree, you can hit people with the axe.
oh man.
And so he's like this cute little like thing with soulless eyes carrying an axe. Like,
Well, I know what he's doing.
so there's your M-rated Animal Crossing game, ladies
They
and gentlemen.
cross, but they never cross back.
Dead by Daylight Animal Crossing edition.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that is
so-
hilarious.
Redwater and Animal Crossing, the one game that we were trying to use to escape from the world, and now it's just kind of following the general pattern.
Well,
Stupid coffee. I'm blaming everything on this coffee today.
I did forget to do something. Football.
Oh, I was going to say, I was just skipping over that the week of the Super Bowl.
No, I just spaced it. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't really have anything. I don't care about the Pro Bowl, so there was nothing. So I just kind of spaced it. But you know, you have the Bengals, you got the Rams. I'm gonna say Matt Stafford and the Rams 27 over the Bengals and Joe Burrow 23.
Okay. I don't know what any of these things mean.
Pick a team.
Do I have to pick one of those teams or could I pick any team?
No, one of those teams. Those are the only two teams playing.
The Bengals.
Bengals.
Yeah.
I kind of like that take. We'll see what happens.
I know nothing about football, so
Pick a score for each team. Obviously, the Bengals has to be higher.
Bengals 32, Rams 28.
Dude, I would love that game.
That
would
actually sounds
be-
like a good game.
That would be a really offensive-driven game. So I'd like to
It'd
see
be a
how that
really
goes.
offensive game.
Shut up. Anyways, continuing with football, but more on a little bit of a sad note here. For most of you that are in the football world or even into the sports video game world, no, John Madden passed away. December, you said, right?
Late December of last year.
And he's obviously made some of the best football games out there.
Well, he didn't make them.
His name has been attributed.
They were attributed to his branding.
Exactly. He has actually been in a few of those games, though.
Yeah.
Like, and voicing
he's done
and
some
things like that.
voiceover.
So, that being said, a copy of John Madden football video game sells for the world record price. It was the 1990 Sega Genesis game, John Madden football. It sold for $480,000.
That's man.
The article says that price vastly more than the original game would have obviously sold for. You don't say.
Yeah, I was gonna
Set
say.
a world record for the most ever paid for a sports game, according to Heritage Auctions. The game itself got a 9.2 rating on the original game. They said that some of the sale will actually be donated by Heritage Auctions to a charitable foundation created in Madden's honor. So that's really cool.
That's cool.
But I just think it's, it just goes to show like how much he was truly loved and like
Yeah.
the influence that he had, you know, on people's lives. Like, I don't know.
It also goes to show how insanely crazy people are for retro games, because they mention, so you can tell this is not a gaming news site because they like just mention a Super Mario Brothers game became the most expensive. There's a mention in the last paragraph that says a Super Mario Brothers game became the most expensive video game ever sold when it was sold for $2 million in August, according to the Times. I believe. Oh no, it's not the. Okay, no, never mind. I thought it was. There was a cartridge of Super Mario 64 that sold for like $1 million just recently. But no, this is like the original Super Mario Brothers. Go away, New York Times. I don't want to subscribe for $1 a week for one article. But it was the original Super Mario Brothers apparently sold for like $2 million. So people will go nuts for retro games.
Now, if this was me and I paid that much money, $480,000 for this John Madden football, you better believe I'm going to get anything I would do whatever it would take to somehow stream and play this game. I would open it up and people would obviously lose their minds.
Yeah.
But I would play a game of Madden football on the Sega Genesis that I just paid $408,000.
I think you could probably figure out a way to stream it. The only problem is the quality wouldn't look great because retro consoles output in like 480p interlaced.
Right.
So like that's why usually people emulate retro games, because you can get really good. You can get like 1080p widescreen.
Yeah.
For streaming them.
I mean, it would definitely be kind of a crappy stream, but it would just be fun to play that game on the Sega Genesis.
I love playing games on original hardware. That's why I bought a PS2 Slim, which I still need to get a controller for. It's been like a month and a half. I still haven't. But Michaela got me a Genesis. I played a little bit of Echo the Dolphin and Pugsy, and I bought Sonic 2. I almost beat Sonic 2, which I've never beaten any classic Sonic game except for Sonic 3, only because you can save that one. But like I sat down and I played through the whole thing almost, and I died on the last boss, and you have to start the whole stupid game over again.
What?
Yeah, that's how games used to be before you could save. The original one, Sonic 1 and 2, you have to beat in one sitting.
Oh god.
You get to the if you're decent at it, it probably only takes you about 30, 40 minutes to play through the game. Like it's not long. But
still,
if you die at the end, you go back to the beginning.
That reminds me of a new game. Oh gosh, what is it called?
Sifu?
Yes, Sifu.
Every time I see that,
so
it looks like a rather vulgar acronym. Because I always read the I as a T. Every time people are talking about it, I'm just like, what'd you say to me? Oh, never mind.
Sifu, would you just... No, I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so do you know anything about this game?
No.
Okay, so essentially, have you ever played Absolver?
No.
Okay, so it's from the same people that created Absolver. They use the same art style, but they make it a single player, take away the multiplayer aspect of it. And it's a beat 'em up action adventure. But here's the thing. So you start out as a young, fighter, right?
Okay.
And when you die, you age 1 year.
Oh.
And you have to beat the game and get through the levels before you get too old and die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So you learn as the levels go how to defeat. And so by the end of the level, you're an aged, well-learned fighter. And you're the one who is aged with them. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like
when you die in the game, you age 1 year in real life.
Oh gosh. I just die real quick to get it done. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Holy moly. Okay.
It's so dark. But no, but it looks really cool. Like the fighting style looks really nice. The action that they have in it. And that concept just seems cool. It switches it a little bit, you know, like you die, your hair gets a little different color. You look a little older. Like your face changes a little bit. Like you see the effects of you dying. And when you are old, 50 or 60 years old in the game, that's not necessarily a knock on you. That just shows you're experienced. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
I mean, it does mean that you died over and over and over and over again.
Right. But if you went up against someone who starts out, I don't know what the age you start out at, but let's just say 25 or something, or even 18, that means that person's brand new. And you would not pick a fight with someone that's 65 in the game because that they have all the experience.
Is it but you don't fight against other people.
Well, no. I'm
But
just
I see
saying,
what you mean.
You know, like it has a cool concept to it. One that
That is a really cool concept.
really find interesting. Anyway, that comes out. Well, actually, that's already out for you guys. So
games like that make me want to actually study martial arts in real life. But A, I don't have the money for classes, and B, I don't think there's like a legitimate dojo around here. That's not like apparently there's a term called a Mick dojo, which is like these like chains that don't actually teach real martial arts, and they're just kind of like there for people to feel like they're doing like cool things.
totally
like,
at Chase,
like,
dude. I'm so sorry, but no.
No, not Chase. I think Chase knows what he's talking about, but like, I don't know. I'd have to do some research to find like an actual dojo, and I also don't have the money for classes.
Oh yeah, no, classes
and
are
it takes so much time. Like you're there pretty much every night of the week.
Oh yeah.
Which, you know, if you're dedicated, then you do it.
Well, and I mean, Chase is a 3rd degree now, black belt, which is insane. But it's taken him years.
Yeah.
Like,
there are some dojos you can get to black belt in like a course of like a year. So like that's not it takes time. It takes time to actually master the things.
Well,
and so that's what they mean by Mick Dojo is like these things where you like, oh, you gain a belt like every month or something.
Yeah, and in order to get like, I think your 1st degree. And I could be totally wrong, Chase. You light my phone up if you want to. But it's you have to run like a marathon, right?
Oh, wow.
Or you have to run. I think one time it was like you had to run a mile in under a certain amount of time. One time you had to run 3 miles in under a certain amount of time. Like they make you do all these things, and it's all in succession of like 150 push-ups, 150 sit-ups, 150 like whatever, and you have to do this all right away, and you can't stop or you fail. And like, so they make you go through rigorous tests just to even get the black belt. If you fail, you have to wait. I think it's like 3 to 6 months before you can try again.
Michaela went to a belt ceremony. Her friend does kendo. No, it's a specific discipline of karate, and I can't remember the name. But there was one person who was like, he was like 50, 60 years old, but he was getting this big belt. And in order to get it, he had to walk in a line like between, so there were the masters all lined up, and he had to walk and take a punch or a kick from all of them. It was like, and he just walked and took punches, and that was part of the ceremony.
Like, we're gonna beat the crap out of you, and if you don't die, you're in. It's like,
yeah, basically.
We don't fight.
Like,
no, we just punch you. It's
like actual martial arts is kind of hardcore, man.
Yeah. I don't know how we got there from John Madden football. Oh, yes.
You were talking about the Genesis, and then I talked about how you died at the end of Sonic, and then you went to Sifu, and I was like, I actually feel like I'd like to study at least a portion of martial arts to like get the discipline. Probably not to that level.
All right. Well, now that we followed the rabbit hole back out, thank you. I did not know how we got there.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't get back. Sometimes we're just stuck.
John Madden football did sell for $480,000, so that's really cool. I don't know. I mean, it's cool to see like his effect on people's lives and how great that was, and then Electronic Arts and how crap that's been. So,
how far the mighty have fallen.
Back then, you have a 9.2 for that. You would expect them to keep going, and I think Madden, what is it, 2022 right now? I'm not sure what the rating is. Maybe it's better.
That's EA.com, so don't go there.
Well, right.
See if you can find Metacritic. I'm just going to keep talking so that it's not boring to people who are just listening. Wait, hold it. Mixed is 19 out of 25. That's not terrible.
No, that's not.
There's only 5 out of 25 positive reviews, and there's your critic reviews.
Oh.
68 by critics, a 0.6 out of 10 for user score. So
based on 492 ratings. So there's been a lot of ratings.
Oof. How on earth? How are there 10s? What?
Well, Ballin' Knob, you're the only one that gave a 10. Everyone else is like 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Wow.
Ooh, man.
That's insane.
Someone said, I just played my first game in franchise mode, won 42-17, but it was counted as a 0-17 loss, and my team stats in the game all disappeared. Please, EA, stop making NFL games and focus on NCAA games.
LOL. So 42 is not the answer to life, the universe, and everything in this game.
Jeez. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Man. Come on, EA. Dude. Man, They need to get bought by somebody. Everyone's out there
It's gonna
buying
happen.
stuff. They need
It's
to
gonna
just
happen.
get bought. Of course, would even people want them? Would someone want that? I mean, I guess Microsoft
I was
wanted
going to say
Activision in spite of
Activision,
everything
like
they had.
Microsoft bought Activision.
But
so
Activision had good games, just crap people, right?
That's true. That's true.
EA
The
has
games were
crap games and
probably not great people either.
I was going to say arguably not the best leadership if they're doing some of the crap they're doing with all this stuff. Anyway, I don't know. Moving on. This is an article from Comic Book Gaming written by Tyler Fisher. And it's Microsoft announces big changes to Xbox Game Pass. Says Microsoft is making some big changes to how both Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold subscriptions work. One of these changes involves refunds. More specifically, Microsoft will now contact Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold subscribers on a 12-month subscriptions and give them an option to end their contract and claim a proportional refund. Previously, this wasn't possible. This is only one of few pro-consumer changes. They go on to say that they're going to discontinue reoccurring charges if the people aren't using those. They haven't explained how they determine if something's inactive, like an account
probably
is
the
inactive.
last time you logged in.
True. And so like if it's maybe been a year or whatever, then they just stop, which is nice because, I mean, think about it. Like, and I don't want to go dark here, but say someone has a son, that played gaming, played Xbox, that did pass away, that is having this charge, right? They don't know anything really about it. They don't know what it is or whatever. So they're not going to think to go on and cancel that. That's the last thing on their mind. Right. I mean, it's nice that they're trying to say like, look, we're not just trying to be out here taking people's money. We really do want to
we want to provide a service you're using.
Right. And the fact that they're offering refunds. So say you play 6 months of Xbox Live Gold, I'm sure it's not going to give you the next 6 months worth of it back if you decide to cancel, but I'm sure they'll give you a decent amount.
I mean, it says proportional refund. So yeah, maybe that just means you just get parts of it. I don't know. It's kind of insane to me because the only benefit that I can see that Microsoft would get from making a change like this is customer loyalty. Like it's upping their clout, but it's not like they're getting money from this. It's not like they're offering another subscription tier. They're literally saying, hey, if you're not using this, we don't want you to pay for it. Where in the article, it does mention that like one of the ways that like subscription services subsist is people forgetting about their subscriptions.
Right.
Like, you're subscribed to Netflix, you don't watch it for 6 months, but you forget to cancel. Well, then Netflix just gets money from you.
Right. And it's such a small amount that you just kind of space it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll notice a $50 charge coming out of your bank account, but you're not going to notice a $10 thing here, a $10 thing there. Like it kind of gets lost. I mean, you spend $10 going to McDonald's. I mean, it just gets lost in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of insane that like, I feel like someone needs to make a meme of Phil Spencer's face on the Good Guy Greg meme. And do you remember Good Guy Greg? Bad Luck Brian, Scumbag Steve, the classics?
I don't remember all of them.
Oh, I remember.
But I've heard a lot about Good Guy Greg.
I feel like somebody needs to bring that back. That was like a 2010 to 12 era. That was like when memes made sense.
Times past, man.
That was before E was a meme.
Huh?
Have you seen the E meme? You haven't seen the E meme?
Nope.
So somebody took a still from Shrek of Lord Farquaad and they photoshopped Markiplier's face on it. And then they took that and they photoshopped it onto the body of, I think, Mark Wahlberg. Then they deep fried it and they just put the letter E on it. And that's a meme now. Okay, I'm gonna show you.
Okay, we're gonna pop that up. While he finds that, this article also says, lastly, Microsoft is now committed.
Yeah, look, no. Markiplier's face, Lord Farquaad's head on Mark Zuckerberg's body, E.
But why?
Why not?
Oh my gosh.
The internet.
I hate the internet sometimes.
It's the internet. So yeah, that's what memes are now.
Well,
I miss Scumbag Steve.
Anyway. Gosh.
Okay, that one's kind of funny.
It says,
That one's kind of funny. That's negative, the square root of -1, which is represented by the letter E. Because it's not real. It's an imaginary number. I don't know why we choose. No, it's I. Square root of -1 is represented by I. That is E, though. That's limit 1 plus, that mathematical formula is represented by E. Oh, my.
Well, okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, it says, lastly, Microsoft is not committed to providing more information up front, which includes alerting customers to auto-renew policies, how to turn off auto-renew, and how refunds can be granted following an accidental auto-renew. Where was the one thing? Essentially, one of the other things that they mentioned is that they are going to be dedicated to allowing, to giving more information up front when they do, or if they do, up the price of the subscriptions.
Well, that's good.
Which makes me think they're going to up the price of the subscriptions.
No.
I think it'll be a slow fade. But to be honest,
slow fade.
When you give yourself away.
It's a sad song. It will. Yeah.
I think that you're getting so much, right? I would be okay. The max that I would want to pay would be $25.
I don't know if I could do $25 a month. I could maybe do 20. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. I'd have to work it through my budget and that sort of thing.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, when you think of the console, right? The Series S is $300. Yeah. Right. So you got a $300 console, but then to have Game Pass for a full year would then be what, $250, $300 for a year subscription.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be a lot of money. That being said, if you wanted to play every single new game that came to Game Pass, you're paying $70. If 10 games come to that,
that's $700.
Exactly. Games are expensive. So if you want to play, if you look it down the line and say, okay, this year, these are all the games that are for sure going to come out. There's 6 games, right?
Yeah.
Then go for it. That's worth it. If you want to play every single game and you're going to buy them anyway, get it on Game Pass. Just get,
because then you get a bunch of other games for free.
Exactly.
And you get, with Ultimate, you get gold.
Right. So I
guess that's true. Also, if you don't want multiplayer, it's only $10 a month. Game Pass.
That's true.
Ultimate provides EA Play and multiplayer.
Right. So if you only want to play, say you're big into the Bethesda games, right? Just go that route. Don't worry about all the other stuff. You'll play Skyrim. You can play Starfield. You can play, all the, not Elder Scrolls Online, but you can go back and play Morrowind, which is honestly, I liked that game. I kind of went back and played a little bit of that.
I've never played any Elder Scrolls game.
They're a blast. I would, if you were going to hop in, just hop into some Skyrim, play through that, and while you wait for Starfield. But Starfield is going to be coming out at the end of the year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it really does come out.
I don't think it will. I think it's gonna get delayed. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna get delayed. I think Starfield's gonna get delayed because at this point.
Save all that for next week.
Oh, sorry.
We have prediction week next week.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
I'm excited for that week. We're going to talk about kind of what we expect to happen, what we like you were saying, what we expect will or won't come out, what we think is going to get game of the year, what we expect our favorite game to be that comes out that year. If we could have anything happen that year, what would we want to actually happen? It's going to be a fun episode. It's going to be a fun episode. But real quick, I want to hop into some of what you've been playing this week.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while. We usually have so much stuff to talk about. We go so long. So this time we had a little bit lighter so we could be narcissistic and talk about ourselves.
Although GTA 6 is coming out, that is confirmed by Rockstar. Okay,
go ahead. Okay, yeah. I mean, that was just like you just dropped that one in there. Okay. It was just an announcement that it's eventually coming, which I feel like we kind of all expected anyway.
Yeah, but now Rockstar announced it, so it's official. Why they announced it last week?
Who knows, man? It's Rockstar. They do whatever they want. What have I been playing? Well, I know we've been playing a lot of Knockout City. You, me, Aaron, and Dom have been having a blast with that. I never realized how much fun that game was.
That's probably one of my favorite, team versus team games.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's hilarious. When you lose, it's a little frustrating, but it's still kind of funny.
So my biggest problem with online games is with Call of Duty, whenever I lost, I felt like we had no chance of catching back up. I always felt like I was just always just dominated. I could never get anywhere. Whereas Knockout City, most of the games that I've lost have been really close. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, we could have almost made it. So it's it's frustrating, but you're like, okay, but we just got outplayed, and that's okay. But I feel like my KD is decent on that game. I don't know. It's just so much fun. I love the aesthetic of it, and that's EA. So
right.
EA does every once in a while come up with something good.
It's weirdly easy. And I don't mean that because it's obviously not for everybody. Because if you're beating them, they're obviously not beating you. So. But I've won way more games than I've lost against actual players. And my KD, again, is like you're saying, really good. Whereas when you look at other games, it just isn't that way. And I think it's because it's played differently than a Call of Duty. So people that are good at that come over and are like, oh, dominate. And they don't.
Well, because it's weirdly enough, it's more team-based.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to play as it. We've discovered that you have to stick together as a team, and you do so much better because if you get ambushed by more than one player, you're screwed, basically. Mm-hmm. Like you're just going to get, knocked out immediately.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pass the ball. You have to turn yourself into a ball. I mean, it's. I like it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is
and
a lot of fun.
If you got Game Pass Ultimate, comes included. So, other game I've been playing. It's actually the game I'm reviewing for February. I got it in. I got it in an itch bundle a while. So, do you know about itch bundles?
Nope.
It sounds really weird. It's itch.io. Every once in a while, they'll offer bundles of indie games, and you can. I got like 50 games for $10. Now, most of them are really, really short games, but and it's like a donation based. You can pay however much you want. I paid $10, and usually they go to like good causes. This was like an environmental, like planting trees. So all the money went towards kind of like a Team Tree sort of thing. One of the games in the bundle was something that I wanted to buy for my PS4 and I didn't. It was a game called Coffee Talk. So if you ever played the game Valhalla, it's
pause real quick.
What?
Coffee Talk was $10. In your bundle of 50 was in that game?
That was in there. Yeah,
that's $13 on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Coffee Talk was included in that. So if you ever played Valhalla, it's kind of that same I think Valhalla is like a bartender simulator. I actually Valhalla is on Game Pass. I've been meaning to play a little bit of it after I finish Coffee Talk, but you play as a barista. It's set in modern day Seattle, but if you're familiar with the genre of urban fantasy, basically it takes like fantasy characters like elves and goblins and orcs, and it puts them in like a modern day society. So like in the world of Coffee Talk, the elves usually start like tech startups and they're like the CEOs and the business people, whereas the orcs are like software developers. There's mermaids from Atlantis. There's one character, Aqua, who's a mermaid from Atlantis, and she's come in and she works as a researcher during the day and an indie game dev by night. And they all kind of exist in Seattle, and it's super chill. The entire soundtrack is lo-fi hip hop, which sounds pathetic because that's my favorite genre of music, but it is. And it all takes place on rainy Seattle nights, and it's a visual novel. So you just come in and you hear people's stories and you kind of like follow these characters. There's one plot where an elf and a succubus are like in a relationship and both of their families hate each other and they're trying to figure out, can we be together or are we going to have to part ways? Is it worth abandoning my family for you? And like it hits on some deep stuff.
What'd you do to help them?
You don't make any decisions other than you make them drinks and just listen to them talk. It's not a branching storyline at all. So I know you don't like that.
That broke my heart. I wanted the game. I thought I could like influence them and be like, totally leave your family behind, like or totally just leave each other and go back to family because that's all.
No,
I wanted to affect their life.
I'm actually glad that you can't because
I was shocked why you were playing this game. I thought that's what it was. So I was like, man, he is making all of these choices for these people.
I hate those games. And that's why I like this one because you just kind of, it's like reading a book, but like really, really beautiful pixel art. Great soundtrack. You get to make coffee for people. I honestly kind of would like to be a barista if it wasn't super like stressful and people weren't terrible.
If it wasn't that.
Yeah. If it wasn't real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was just like what the game was, you'd be like all about it.
So you get to make people coffee. It's just been really, really, really relaxing. Even though the story is kind of deep and like it hits on some. So at the beginning of every day, you look at the paper and like it is set in a fantasy world, but like one of the crises going on is that werewolves need so every month werewolves go what's called through the Fury, which is basically where they have a hard time, suppressing the wolf side of them. And in order to combat that, you can get Fury sedatives. But like there's this big scandal going along that like hospitals can't charge extra for it. Like some people were like smuggling it in. There's an immigration crisis, but the immigrants are coming from Atlantis like onto the land. Like it deals with real world issues, but put into this, and it's not pushy at all. It's just like you're reading the paper and you're like, oh, this world has problems too.
Right.
And one of my favorite lines was one of the main characters is an author, and you follow her as she's writing this novel. And it's like loosely based on the characters in the coffee shop, but she has made the controversial decision to set the book in a world where only humans exist. And she tells that to one of the elf characters. She's like, well, that sounds kind of racist. She's like, no, it just forces people to like reframe the way we see things. She's like, and she said, in a world where races didn't exist, we'd probably find other ways to discriminate people, like, I don't know, like gender or skin color. And I was like,
it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, way to be on the nose there, Coffee Talk.
There you go. Well, that's interesting. So is it randomized for the encounters?
No, there's a story mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not like a free roam, not free roam, but like where just random things happen?
There is a challenge mode where people come in and order random drinks and you have to make them, but there's no story to that.
Got you. Okay. So what happened to the people? Spoiler, skip ahead 30 seconds.
I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know.
Oh. Is it just that couple that you're talking to?
There's that couple. There's a teen pop star who's like wanting to start a solo career, but her father used to manage a band and knows how toxic the music industry is. And so he's like super overprotective and she's like rebelling, thinking like he's trying to hold her back.
So it's just eavesdrop simulator.
Yeah, but they come into the coffee shop and talk to you.
Oh, they're talking to you about it?
And to each other, but they're like right in front of you. So it's not like you're like being a creepy barista. Like they're literally sitting at the coffee bar talking to each other and you like interject every now and then. And
oh, you can interject.
No, your character does. Like you don't talk. You talk, but you the player do not talk.
You're watching a movie making coffee.
You're reading a book. Yeah.
Okay.
You're reading a book set in the first person, basically.
Well, I probably won't get it then because I like to be able to be affecting people's lives.
I don't. That's what I love it. It's like it's reminded me of what I loved about reading before I lost my attention span. And this just keeps me invested, and I don't know.
That's cool. Like if you open the paper and it's like it shows you those two articles, right, of the werewolf thing and the Atlantis thing, and you're like, and then it popped up, choose which crisis is real. It's like, oh, okay. No, let's choose the werewolf because that seems kind of fun. Then you see a crazy werewolf that busts in and is like, I didn't get my pills today. Help me. And you're like, coffee is probably not what you need, sir. You might want some nice warm tea.
Actually, you do figure out one of the werewolves' remedy. It's like a ginger milk tea.
And that's when the barista retires and makes a fortune.
No, every werewolf has a different remedy.
Oh.
It's personalized to them.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's like, I got your supply. Sorry. Like, oh man. Well, that sounds like a decent game. I mean, it sounds like
I've really been enjoying it.
Awesome. I've been playing the State of Decay 2, hop back into that. My wife really likes survival stuff, so she kind of...
That's weird to me that Carly likes that game.
Yeah, she likes the building. Like her biggest thing when we first hopped in was getting a garden. So we found someone that was really good at gardening. We built a garden, and then she's like, you can upgrade the garden? I was like, yeah, you can upgrade the garden. She's like, we're gonna upgrade the garden. So we're trying to upgrade it.
I don't know why I thought when you like paused, I thought you were like censoring her. We're gonna upgrade the out of this garden. Like,
oh no!
I was like, Carly.
No, I was like, okay, so we'll upgrade the garden, right? So we get a little bit of an upgrade, but in order to do the next one, we have to go get a new like area to have a bigger plot and all that stuff. She's like, well, let's go do it. I'm like, well, we need more people and more reputation. She's like, how do we do that? It's by killing zombies, getting the plague heart out of there, making friends. So she's like, okay, well, we gotta do it. We gotta go do the nasty stuff to get a good garden. So we're doing that to go get a good garden.
Huh. But yeah, we played a little bit of that last night. Sorry, I was so tired last night.
No,
I actually do want to keep playing it.
It's fun.
It's like I was telling you, this game feels like what I thought DayZ was going to be.
It's a survival aspect to it, but the survival aspect is pretty forgiving. And you have to get all these different things for your group, not
instead of
you.
just wandering around hoping you find some food and then you slowly starve to death because all you have is a glow stick and a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's not slow. It happens pretty quick, like 20 seconds, and you're dead in that game.
I really did not like DayZ. But this one actually feels like it balances that survival aspect. Like, I never felt like I was overpowered, but I always felt like I could fight back.
Right.
It didn't feel like the zombies weren't a threat, but it also felt like I could handle it.
Right, and if once we haven't even tried like the play cards or the bigger zombies, so
that's true.
It will definitely get more challenging. And if you want a more challenging experience, you can up the difficulty. But it's a fun game. I enjoy that. I've also been playing a lot of, like you said, Knockout City. We've been doing that. And then what was the other game? Hell Let Loose. I'm still on that game. So that's what game that I like. So that being said, that's what we've been playing.
That was weird.
Crap, that is weird. I do want to do an announcement real quick. Probably should have done this at the beginning. We are going to slowly be transitioning from this amazing studio over to doing things on Twitch and live stream. Just the way things are working out, that's just what we're going to have to do from now on. Not necessarily next week, I mean, we have a little bit of time that we're going to try to implement it to make sure it's really done correctly and done well.
The advantage of this is it's going to be easier for us to produce more stuff, hopefully.
Exactly.
So because the platform we're looking at is online based, so like we won't even necessarily have to be in the same room to do stuff. We'll be able to share media live on the podcast. And in addition, you'll be able to watch us record this show live before it goes up. Like we're probably still going to post it on YouTube and everything Thursday mornings like we have been.
Right.
Audio podcast will still continue to happen Thursday mornings, but you'll be able to watch us live stream.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting. And it opens it up for more guests. Chase Cooper, you've met him, I think, once.
He was on when we did House of Ashes.
Right.
No, he wasn't.
No, he missed it.
He missed that. So you have not met Chase yet. We mentioned him all the time.
He's a cool guy. You will eventually meet him. And then Aaron Piper will be on the show more. I really want to get one of our supporters on, Josh Garcia.
Oh yeah.
I want him to hop on, talk about his games. It literally opens it up to do a lot of things. We're hoping to eventually move to a time where we can post almost every day. We're going to work our way up to that. We're debating on a few names. One of them that we're leaning towards is the Dark Roast because it's going to happen more at night.
Yeah. So the first idea was Gamers Roast podcast after dark, and I'm like, we're a coffee-based podcast. We got to do Dark Roast. So
Dark Roast sounds
we'll play with some
great.
names.
So leave a comment. Tell us what you guys think. Come up with some cool coffee idea type of, name of a podcast at night.
That made perfect sense.
Yeah, figure it out. You guys do your thing. Do our work for us. And
LOL.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, it's going to be a slow fade into it, but hopefully we can make sure everything's done well and correctly as we move forward. So thank you guys, though, for always for tuning in, listening, subscribing, liking, commenting, all the things. It really means a lot. Donating. I appreciate every single thing you guys do for us. It allows us to do this, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So thank you. Drink lots of coffee, play lots of games, watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
That's happening this week. So see what you think of all that.
I might actually watch the halftime show this year. I don't know. I find concerts incredibly boring.
Agreed. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, till next time. Catch you guys later.
Bye, guys.